Hey guys, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So I hope you are already aware about the fact that CSIR has started its registration process. The form filling process has already begun. Last date of form filling is 2nd of January. So make sure that you fill the form before that date if you are appearing for the CSIR NET exam. In this video, I'll be talking about some major points, some important things which you need to know before filling the form. In the upcoming days, I'll also upload a step-by-step guide to fill the form. So that will come very soon. Stay tuned for that. But right now, I'm just going to talk about some important things which you need to know before filling the form, like what type of image you have to upload, then what is the eligibility criteria, what is the age limit, is there any change in the age limit, and also there are certain certain points which have been updated. Okay, some things, some of the sections or some of the eligibilities have been updated regarding this cycle of the exam. So we'll be talking about all of these in this video. I have highlighted all the things in the information bulletin PDF. You can download this from the official website. I'll give you a link to download this in the description of this video, so you can directly download this particular PDF. Now, before starting it, if you are new to this channel and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do consider subscribing. In the upcoming days, I'll be uploading more and more videos for the upcoming CSIR NET exam. So having said that, let's continue with our video. Alright, so this is the information bulletin for joint CSIR UGC NET examination June 2021. Now, this is the first thing which you should focus on, or this is the first thing which you should see, because the last exam which happened was in 2020, and that was called as your June 2020. Okay, so that was CSIR June 2020 exam. Now, after that, December 2020 exam was pending, June 2021 exam was pending, and since we are right now in December 2021, so we can consider that also, that December 2021 exam was also pending. So these three exams are the one which are pending. Now this exam, the one which is going to held, and this is going to be held tentatively in Jan 2022. So the exam which is being conducted in Jan 2022 is basically your June 2021 exam. Okay, so you can understand that these three exams are pending. This one they are conducting now. So you can just say that December 2020 exam is nullified. Okay, that is not going to happen. So just one chance of CSIR NET exam is gone. We don't have that chance now. So December 2020 is not going to happen. In 2020 there was just one CSIR NET exam. In 2020 there was just one CSIR NET exam. In 2021 technically there was no exam, but yes, June 2021 they are conducting in 2022. So I hope that thing is clear. Okay, regarding December 2021, we don't have any idea what the next exam is going to be. So currently whatever we know is that the next exam is June 2021 exam. Okay, so that will be considered as the June cycle of 2021. Okay, now moving ahead, this is the complete information bulletin. You can download. All the basic informations are given over here. The things which you have to focus on, that I'm going to talk about. The next thing is that online registration has started on 3rd of December and it will end on 2nd of January. So these are the important dates. I have highlighted them. Make sure that you fill the form within these dates. Last date for successful transaction of examination fees, means last date to pay the fee, is 3rd of January. So if you are willing to fill the form, if you are willing to fill CSIR NET exam form, then make sure that you fill it within these dates. Okay, these are the fees which you have to pay. The application fees is 1000 rupees for general category. For OBC it is 500 rupees. For SC/ST category and for the third gender it is 250 rupees. And for PWD categories there is no fees. So the fees section is similar as it used to be. Next we have correction in the particular application from online only. Okay, so now they have mentioned, if you make any mistake while filling the form, let's say you have made some mistake, although I highly recommend don't do that. Okay, don't make mistakes while filling the form. Be very careful while filling the online form. Now let's say if you make a mistake, you can correct it between these dates, so 5th of January 2021 to 9th of January 2022. Okay, so that's the date which they have given you to make corrections. Okay, Downloading admit card will be given later on when the admit card will be provided. Mode of examination is CBT, which it used to be. So CBT is the mode of exam. MCQ and other things are same. Date of exam is scheduled on 29th of January, 5th of February and 6th of February. So these are the three tentative dates of exam. We don't know when exactly the CIRNet Chemical Sciences exam is going to happen, but these are the three dates. When you will get admit card, at that time probably you will get to know that on what date you are having the exam. Okay, the next major change which has happened is in the schedule, or you can say in the shifts. So earlier the shift used to be from 9 AM to 12 noon and then 2 PM to 5 PM, but this time they have changed the timing of the second shift. It has become from 3 PM to 6 PM. So they have got 3 hours of gap between the first shift and the second shift, and that has been done keeping the COVID protocols, and because they have to maintain, sanitize and all those things. So based upon that, they have done this particular thing. Okay, center and date of exam will be center, date and shift will be mentioned in the admit card, so that will be directly provided to you. Display of recorded answer sheet, they will be provided later on. Declaration of result, that will also be provided later. Okay, let's come a little down. So follow the steps below to apply online. What you need, first step is to apply for online registration using unique email ID and mobile number. Second step is to fill the application form, register and get an application number. Third step is to upload legible scanned images. Okay, now this point is very important. You have to know, like you have to make sure that you have a recent photograph in JPEG format. Size should be between 10 KB to 200 KB, either in color or black and white. So the image can be in color or black and white, anything. Okay, 80% of your face should be visible without mask. You don't have to wear mask while getting your picture. And ears visible, visible including ears against their background. Their ear should be visible. Now in the last year I got many questions, like someone who wears turban, for a particular Sikh community, people who wear turbans. So they asked whether they have to show their ears or not. No, it's not like that. If you wear a turban, if you have a photograph in that, that is totally acceptable. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, candidate signature is going to be between 4 KB to 30 KB. Duly verified result aviated or attestation form. Okay, so that's something which I'll tell you. It is for those who are in masters final year or are registered in masters. They can fill they have to apply under result aviated category. Okay, and they need to give a certificate regarding the same. So that certificate they are asking. Category certificate, if you fall under a certain category, you have to apply that category certificate, and PWD certificate if you fall under that category. Okay, and fourth step is to pay the fee, and then it says all the 4 steps can be done together or separate times. PWD candidates are exempted from the payment of fees, so they don't have to pay the fees, as I told you already. Okay, only after successful payment by the candidature, the submission of the online form is going to be accepted. So once you fill the form, that is not the final point. The final section is to pay the fees. If you have filled the form but not paid the fees, your application will not be considered as submitted. Submitted application means you have filled the form and you have paid the fees also. Okay, coming a little down, it says request for correction made by any candidate through post, fax, WhatsApp, email by hand will not be entertained by NTA. So you cannot modify or you cannot make requests for the corrections by any other mode. That will be provided online in the prescribed time which is given to you. But again, I am telling that while filling the form, be very careful, don't make mistakes while filling the form. Okay, coming a little down, brief advisory regarding COVID-19 pandemic. So these are certain general advisories are there. One point which is important here is that you need to carry an additional photograph, and that to be pasted in the attendance sheet. So there will be attendance sheet. You have to carry a additional photograph along with you. Okay, so this time they are asking for this, and you have to make sure that you do that. So whatever photo you are uploading in the application form, if you have 2 copies of that, so one will be digitally uploaded and the other one you have to keep as a physical photograph, so that it can be pasted in the attendance sheet. Okay, so make sure you do that. Other things are simple, like admit card, you are allowed to carry that. Then a simple transparent ball pen, then personal hand sanitizer, water bottle, ID proof, and the other things. Okay, sugar tablets, fruits, in case the candidate is diabetic. Okay, those are other things. Okay, let's come a little bit down. Okay, the next important thing which we have is this essential qualification. Okay, so the qualification, what are the essential qualifications? So MSc or equivalent degree, integrated BSMS, BS 4 years, BE, BTech, B Pharma, MBBS with at least 55%. At least 55% without rounding off marks for general category unreserved and general EWS category and OBC candidate. For all these three, you need at least 55% marks. Whereas for SC/ST candidate, for third gender and for PWD candidates, 50% marks is the eligibility criteria. Okay. One more thing, that the students or the candidates enrolled for MSc or having completed 10 plus 2 plus 3 means 10th plus 2 is 12 plus 3 is bachelor's. If they have completed their graduation of the above qualifying examination as on the closing date of online submission of application form are also eligible to apply in the above subject under result awaited category, right? So those who are in their masters, those who have taken admission in the masters, they can also apply under result awaited category on the condition that they complete the qualifying degree with requisite percentage of marks. So this is the condition that within the next few years, they will qualify with 55% of marks in their masters. Such candidate have to submit attestation form duly certified by the head of department or institute from where the candidate is appearing or has appeared. As I said, this is called attestation form. You have to get it certified by the HOD of your department wherever you are doing your masters. Okay. All right. The next point says that a candidate possessing only bachelor's degree, okay, are eligible to apply for junior research fellowship and not for lecturership. So make what this point suggests, it means that let's say you are only BSc, you have not done MSc and you want to give this exam, you can only apply for JRF. Now you know that once you qualify the JRF, that is only going to be applicable if you pass out your masters and then join PhD. Okay, so basically what they mean is, if you have just done bachelor's, then you are not going to be eligible for lecturership. You have to qualify the other exams in that case. Okay. BE, BTech, B Pharma, MBBS final year result awaited candidates are eligible to apply for fellowship only. These candidates will not be eligible for lecturership and assistant professor. Just what I told you. BSc honors final year result awaited candidates are not eligible to apply. Okay. So that's what is the overall scenario. Now coming down a little bit about the age limit. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the upper age limit for JRF, maximum 28 years. So on the in written, the age has not been increased, but you can see that as on 1st of July 2020. So understand that actually they have given a age relaxation. What does that mean? It means someone whose date of birth falls after 01, 07 and 1992. Okay, that person is also eligible to apply for the JRF position. So that makes him, because from there to there this becomes 28 years, right? So after this date till this, if your date of birth falls over here, you can apply. But so that's what it is. Technically they have given you a age relaxation. Okay, so they have just written over here that okay, if you are having your date of birth, if you are completing 28 years on this date, then you are eligible to apply. This is basically the eligibility criteria. It should be the eligibility criteria of June 2020 or December 2020 exam. So the eligibility, they have kept it to the December 2020 exam itself, so that a person who is applying should not miss out, or he or she does not falls out of this age limit, and it does not becomes it should not be injustice to that person, right? Because examination was not conducted, it was not his fault. Okay, the age has increased because of course all the 1 year COVID has taken, but our age, we all have aged 1 year, right? So that's why they have done this. So that's a good thing. Okay, they have given age relaxation, not in the in the written form, but technically they have given. Okay, so it's a good thing that they have done, and it is also mentioned that this age limit is applicable for the current examination cycle only. So this time they are giving this age limit, or they have given this relaxation. In the upcoming exam, whether the relaxation will be there or not, we don't know, but right now they have given that. Okay, so that's a good thing. For LS or assistant professors, you don't have any upper age limit. Okay, So that's something you should know. Okay, CBT mode and other things you already know. 3 parts exam you already know. Part A, Part B, Part C, how much marks, how much you have to do, what is the negative marking, everything is mentioned on this slide or this page. You can read about them. Pretty same, nothing is changed as of that. Okay, chemical sciences subject code is 701. Make sure you remember this while filling the form. It will be like you have to mention that. Okay, again, date of exam, as I told you, 29th of January, 5th of February or 6th of February. Shifts are like 2 shifts, first shift and second shift, and you can see that they have changed the timing of this second shift. Then all these things are there when they are going to allow the entry and other things. Okay, so make sure that you read this out. Being a little down, now here you have what are the documents you need. Okay, while filling the form, all these documents you need. What are those? Your copy of university certificate, then type of identification, that means you need an Aadhaar card or your voter ID card, then your qualifying degree certificate, then your mailing address, that means email, then 4 cities in which you want to put your centers, code of joint CSIR-NET subject. So subject code you need, means you just have to choose over there, you don't have to remember exactly. Category certificate if applicable, self-declaration minority community certificate, then result awaited certificate if applicable, economically weaker section certificate if applicable, PWD certificate, email address and mobile number of candidate, and scanned images of in the JPEG format. Other details about the photograph and all is mentioned. Make sure that you follow all the given guidelines. Okay, now all the other details on this whole page is just normal, just basic things, nothing new as what I have seen, what I have read. You can also read that out. All these things, whatever I told you, is given in detail further, so nothing to worry about. Just the major things which were needed I already told you. So that's it for this video. I hope the things are clear to you, and whatever the changes and whatever points you have to remember are already given to you. First thing is that this is June 2021 exam. Okay, so that's first thing. Second thing, the second shift timing is changed from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and now the exam second shift will be 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, third thing, age relaxation is actually provided. Okay, so yeah, you are getting age relaxation. Fourth thing is that you have to make sure that whatever certificate, whatever documents they're asking, make sure that you have all of them, and the photograph which you are uploading, you should have a physical copy of that, so that you can assist that, or you can just like whenever it is asked during the examination to just place that out in the attendance sheet, you should have that particular photograph. All right, these were some major points for this particular video. I hope you understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment sections below. I'll try to make more frequent videos for you guys. Make sure you subscribe the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye. Take care. Hey guys, so I teach live on Unacademy Plus platform. Here I teach for the CSIR UGC NET category, and you can follow me over here for regular classes. You can access my free classes as well as my paid classes on this particular platform. The classes which are free, you can get that under the section of special classes, whereas in order to access my paid classes, paid live classes, you have to take Unacademy Plus subscription. So do make sure that you take the Unacademy Plus subscription to access all my paid classes, which are quite organized. The whole syllabus is being completed over there, and the classes are quite regular over there. So make sure that you take Unacademy Plus subscription by using my referral code, that is N_Huda. That's it for this. Thank you so much.